A fire has been rekindled in my soul. That fire is my drive for RWBY, baby! It's back! Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land, Jake of the OneManBand is back again, finally with you guys, and I finally have new stuff to talk about RWBY. Volume 4 of RWBY coming out this year. This is my RTX recap of what we know so far about RWBY Volume 4. Now, really quick, just to get this out of the way, for all of you people who are asking me, review the trailer! Review the trailer! Why haven't you reviewed the trailer yet? I'm not gonna review the trailer. You wanna know why? The trailer was a specific thing meant for people that were only at the panels at RTX to see. It was only meant for them. It was leaked out onto the internet, which is shameful and should not have been done. So I'm not gonna review it until it's made public for everyone. Alright? That's just how I've always operated. That's how I'm always going to operate. I'm only going to talk about things that were made public through the stream of the RWBY panels. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about what we do know. Now, probably one of the big things that came out from the panels at RTX for RWBY was that there's going to be a time skip between Volume 3 and Volume 4. And it was stated by the creators that this time skip is going to be about 6 to 8 months. So our team RWBY has had a little bit of time away from each other, a little bit of time to grow away from one another, and they're going to have a new slew of problems that are now facing them due to their separation of one another. This also means that they're going to be different in some ways, but similar in other ways. I'm pretty sure RWBY is still gonna be her quirky self, but I think she's also going to be a little bit better trained and maybe even a little bit more mature or hardened by her travels. I want to talk more about what the characters are going to be like in Volume 4 once their appropriate trailers come out. And yes, I do believe that it was stated at the panels that this volume, its trailers at least, is going to follow what the color trailers were for Volume 1. They're going to have 4 trailers, each revolving around one of the main members of Team RWBY. So with that out of the way, I want to talk about the girls specifically by themselves on where they might be in the world, how they're dealing with what's going on, and all stuff like that. I want to try to save that stuff for those videos, those breakdowns. But we do know some new things about the girls. For one, new outfits. And I know that the cosplayers are gonna go crazy. Speaking of crazy, it was not one day after the first RWBY panel that there were cosplayers in those outfits. One day, people! One day! That's dedication! And probably way too much time on your hands. So I will talk about the new outfits a little bit right here. So let's talk about RWBY's outfit right now. What can we tell from her outfit? Well, I don't know about you, but it does kind of have some sort of resemblance to some original concept art that was made up for her. So they may be trying to reel her back to maybe an original concept, or maybe pushing her forward to a new form of concept. But the way that she looks right now just screams a little bit more Red Riding Hood, if you will. And I think that I did see this on Team Theory a few days ago, that the shirt kind of has a resemblance to how Penny's shirt was. And yeah, I do kind of see how there may be a resemblance between her RWBY's new shirt and Penny's shirt, but I don't think it was meant to be like that unless RWBY has taken on like aspects and like clothing details from people who meant so much to her in the past. I mean, it would make sense that maybe she's dressing like them or has some article of clothing similar to them as a form of memento for them. But until we get further details, I can't really confirm or deny anything. All I know is that the shirt has a striking resemblance to how Penny's shirt did look. Some other things I want to talk about RWBY's new costume is that she has a small backpack on her back that's underneath her hood. Now, I'm not sure if it's really gonna play into anything, like in future episodes or what have you, but Monty always wanted to design his characters' costumes with cosplay in mind, so he always wanted to give them packs and like pockets and stuff like that. So that might be something for just a cosplay reason, or it could come into play later on when the actual volume comes out. Another thing I want to talk about is she's no longer wearing the full like leggings. She isn't wearing full leggings. She's wearing stockings now. She's showing off a little bit more skin, so it does give her a little bit more of a mature look in my mind, but those stockings that she's wearing, they're torn up, kind of ruffled up, and it even has a rose pattern on her left legging. And no, that is not a tattoo for whoever posted that on Team Theory. Not a tattoo, it's just the leggings. Not only are her stockings like ripped up and teared up, but her cape is also showing signs of wear and tear, much like Crow's cape. So she may be emulating a little bit of Crow right there. And not only is her clothing taking a beating, but also, if you look at this concept art right here that they used for the release date title picture thing, if you look at Crescent Rose, you can see that it's banged up, it's chipped, and it's gone through some wear and tear. So her and the remnants of Team Juniper have been on the road for a while and probably haven't had the ability to take proper maintenance to their equipment. They've probably just done what they can with what they have. So they've been on the road for a while, and it's shown in her costume due to the wear and tear. Alrighty, now on to Weiss's costume. Not really that much to talk about her costume right now, except that we see that there's two variants. There's the combat skirt variant, and there's the evening dress variant. And I kind of have my own little theory about this. The combat skirt variant is sort of what she wants to wear. She wants to stay that way, but since she's back under the wing of her father probably wants her to take on maybe a more mature look, maybe a more respectable look, a look that wouldn't be for someone that was a huntsman. I don't think that Daddy Schnee wants Weiss to be a huntsman. I mean, if she went into the military, I think he would have been alright with that. But as a huntsman going against his wills, I don't think he wants that. So he wants to kind of mold her into whatever he wants her to be, the proper heiress. And I think that's sort of shown in the evening dress. I mean, she looks mature and, you know, you can't really fight in a dress like that. While a combat skirt, although it is a skirt, she has fought in that in the previously 3 volumes, so we've seen that it's worked. Okay, now on to Blake's new costume. Blake's new costume, now, although it does look cool, really intricate, like shirt design and all that, the really big things I want to talk about her costume is, for one, the duster coat. Now, this duster coat does look a lot like what Winter wore when she visited Weiss, but for the most part, that duster is just awesome. I've always loved dusters on characters, and it on Blake just gives her like a vigilante sort of look, and I think that's probably what she's gonna be doing in this next volume, and what she has been doing through the time skip is kind of maybe dealing out vigilante justice, maybe fighting the White Fang, but all that will probably have to be saved for an analysis on her very own trailer. Now, the big thing about her costume to me is those dang boots. Look at those boots, okay? They're up to her mid-thighs. How does one bend? How does one kneel in those boots? I must know. Now, I know that they look cool and it's anime and anime logic and all that, but it's like, that does not compute. Why? I mean, whatever. I mean, maybe she just won't bend throughout the entire volume, but I think bending is a big part of her fighting style, so who knows? The third and final thing I want to talk about with Blake's new costume is that she has her weapon, Gamble's Shroud, to which I hear you guys saying, yeah, so, it's her weapon, she's supposed to have it. Yes, and I understand that, but you see, at the end of Volume 3, both when she is lying next to Yang saying that she's sorry, she doesn't have her weapon. And later on in the volume where it shows her jumping over the rooftops in Vale as she looks at Beacon, she also doesn't have her weapon. So at some point between that part, between then and to where it's going to pick up in Volume 4, she went back to Beacon and recovered her weapon. Either that or she reforged her weapon. So if they're going to explain this in the trailer or in the volume is yet to be known, but it's just a little thing that I kind of pointed out. Now on to Yang's costume. Now, with Yang's costume...
Bumblebee!
I know. I'll get to that. You see, with Yang's costume, it looks very just like regular clothes and all that.
Patch?
You know there's a bumblebee patch.
Yes, I'll get to that, okay? Just let me talk about what I'm talking about right now. So, her costume right now is really different than her previous one. Okay, fine. Yes, there is a bumblebee patch on her pants. What do you want from me? Yes, there is a bumblebee patch on her pants, and I know that the shippers are going crazy with seeing that. But I don't think it means anything, okay? Because I'm pretty sure she's still bitter at Blake for running away and leaving her behind, and the only reason that it's there is probably to give you shippers a little bit of food so you don't starve during the volume. So there you go, my honest opinion. Now, I do like the fact that they put the bumblebee patch on there. I just think it's a real nod to the audience, and it's really funny. But there's another patch on her pants. It's on her left pocket, I think. It's the red patch on her pocket. And I've zoomed in, I've tried to decipher what it is, and I can't make it out quite yet. So it's definitely something that I'm gonna be looking out for during the volume. So back to her actual clothes. She's wearing just a simple tank top, some cargo pants, and then a jacket with a tied up sleeve whenever she needs to. Now these just look like simple day-to-day house clothes. She isn't fit and gonna be going out fighting Grimm. She isn't in that kind of state right now. Not only has she been wounded physically, but she's also been wounded emotionally and mentally. I think a lot of the Yang screen time during this volume is going to be her dealing with what her life is right now. And I also think she's probably going to have a shorter fuse when it comes to anger. Due to her loss that she's experienced in the last volume, she's going to have a real short fuse and she's going to just explode at the slightest things, I think. Now, not that much can be said about Yang and the rest of Team RWBY right now, but I do think that the artwork right here is pretty cool, and I can't wait to see them in the actual volume. And the next big thing I want to talk about with the new stuff for RWBY is that the Grimm are once again gonna get a revamp, new artwork, a new style, and I just am tickled to death, because the Grimm, they're gonna look like more menacing, kind of more scary looking. And I'm honestly loving the artwork that they're going to be doing for the Grimm. And we're also going to see some new Grimm, because we're no longer like on the outskirts of just Vale. We're going to be all over the map. So it did show some artwork for a new type of gorilla Grimm, and I can't really make out what its name is right now. If you guys can make it out, good for you, but I'll wait until I know for sure to actually give it a name. Until then, I'm going to call it the Gorilla Grimm. Now, this Gorilla Grimm, you know, it's gonna be huge, real powerful forearms, and it's probably just gonna be a Grimm meant for crushing and smashing, bashing together, maybe throwing a little bit of feces, but that's yet to be seen. And as for other varieties of Grimm, we did kind of get a little tease that there may be some water Grimm in Volume 4. So fingers crossed, everybody. I'm really looking forward to seeing new variants of Grimm. And of course, the biggest thing that was shown off during the RWBY panels was the release date for Volume 4, October 22nd. RWBY Chibi is going to it's going to air all the way up to that point, and then RWBY proper is gonna take over. And I am so excited to get back into RWBY proper. It's just gonna be great. It's gonna be a great volume. Now, I know that there was a lot of information, a lot of questions asked at the 2 RWBY panels that were done at RTX. And I was only there for one panel. So I didn't like take down every single question. I didn't see every single question. So if you guys have more information about what might be in RWBY Volume 4, please leave it in the comments below, because all you guys are gonna be talking about that. And I can't wait to just give you guys more and more videos about RWBY and stuff. I already have so many new ideas going around in my head. It's gonna be so awesome. So, be sure to like and favorite if you've enjoyed. Subscribe, of course, if you feel inclined to. I'll see you guys next time I'm out there in YouTube land. Be a good person, tip your waitresses, keep moving forward. I'll see you next time. Yeah!
A big thanks to all our sponsors.